and welcome to Artistically Married, where art and opportunity collide. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman.
I'm Brianne Steinberg.
And today we are doing a show on the Niagara Deluge, the big flood that happened.
Deluge?
I think that's what they were calling it. Which was, a series of crazy rainfalls that we had that put St. Catharines into a state of emergency. I think a couple other places.
I thought it was funny that we were doing an episode on meteorology.
Why?
Are we branching out? Are we opening like another pillar of the podcast?
No, this is the community aspect too, I think.
All right.
This is something that
Breaking news.
affected a lot of people in Niagara.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to break this down into first what happened, second is why it happened, and then third is what can we do about it and why it might happen again, actually. So a basic timeline. Between late July and early August 2026, we were struck by multiple massive rainstorms. So they say that these storms they call them 100-year storms. So the probability of them happening is like once every 100 years.
Yep. And
we got 3 within the 12 days that it was.
It's insane. Yeah, we got so much rain.
Yeah.
In such short amount of time too, right? Like it was only like one of the nights was like a 5-hour period. One of them was like a 6-hour period during the night.
Yeah.
So it was just like so much rain in like such a short amount of time. It was crazy.
Yeah, they say it was statistically near impossible under the old climate models.
Wait, like the old climate models for Niagara?
Well, it basically, there's such a low chance of it happening the way that it did.
Wow.
So the storms were part of a repeating chain of convective thunderstorms that generated and passed over the same areas repeatedly.
What's a convective thunderstorm?
Ooh, I should have looked that one up.
Oh, I'll look it up. You keep talking.
Yeah, convective thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so radar showed 40 to 60 kilometer long training bands of thunderstorms sitting over St. Catharines, Lincoln, and Niagara on the Lake, and we'll get into kind of why that happened. So the first storm was July 21st, 22nd, like during the night. We got 80 to 120 millimeters of rain across most of Niagara. The ground became very saturated. The first wave of basement floods started to happen in all the low places. Storm number 2 was on July 27th and 28th, again in the night. 100 to 150 millimeters, even more, hit some microzones, which was actually kind of weird. It was hitting some areas worse than others. So there, again, we got severe thunderstorms and the back building effect, which is like these thunderstorms that kept just kind of piling onto each other. Normally a storm will form and it'll pass, but these ones just kind of piled onto the back of each other. Convective
storm is a sudden temperature change along with strong winds.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that's the convection effect, because I just know a convection oven, right, is like it spins the temperature.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's the same type of thing where like it goes suddenly from cold to hot, and I think that's also why it ends up being like localized like that into like little pockets.
Yeah.
So I literally taught 2 classes today. I've lost my voice.
Me too.
This is how little amount I teach anymore now. Like I teach for 2 hours and that's it. I have no voice.
I didn't teach 2 classes, but my voice is out for some reason. Camping, I guess.
Yeah, we're partying too hard.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Yeah, so it's just like when the pressure changes and the temperature changes really rapidly, it ends up making it like concentrated in a specific area. And also it ends up with these like really powerful storms.
Yeah. Yeah, so after the second storm, there was widespread floods and the storm drains started to become overwhelmed. And then the third storm was on August 2nd. I actually have a little bit of video of this one. We got up to 120 to 180 millimeters of rain during this storm. Some small pockets hit over 200 plus millimeters.
No wonder the drains are all filled.
And one of the things that made it even worse was there was a 6-hour power outage in Lincoln. So people had some pumps functional and then boom, no power. And so 800 plus basements flooded in Lincoln. They say there were cars floating. They said the Niagara Escarpment basically turned into a waterfall.
Wow.
Craziness.
So crazy.
There were some reports of over 2,000 lightning strikes per hour and storm drains going from normal operation to overflowing like in less than a minute and a half. Just in a video, you can see they're functioning and then just flooded.
Wow.
This one wasn't actually one of the storms, but we were in an intense storm at Windmill Point, like in Port Colborne area.
I think you're going to see them happening more and more.
Yeah. And we, when we're camping, we got the awning out. And it was something we never used to worry about. And I swear it's been the last couple of years now. All of a sudden we used to just set it and forget it and never touch the awning, pack it up when you leave. But now you feel the wind picking up and it just picks the awning up like a sail and starts rocking the trailer and you're just worried you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
But we had that storm and here the rain kind of starts sprinkling like, okay, it should be fine. Yeah. And then it turned into another one of these storms, which along with it comes very high winds. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden the trailer's rocking and we were just in this like downpouring rain and we had to go out there and try and save the awning. And just to be out in that rain. Yeah. One, it was so cold. It took your breath away. It was so freezing cold.
That's the temperature change that happens really fast. Like the heat pushes up and then the cold pushes down and it makes that circle. Yeah,
because it was a hot summer day. Yeah. But then the rain is like ice cold. And it was just like buckets and buckets.
Taking your breath away. Like it was so windy too. It was like driving it into your face. Yeah. Yeah, we were soaked in like 8 seconds of being outside.
Yeah. And it didn't stop. I said it was like being on the Whirlpool jet boat ride. Like just
that was such a good analogy.
Water, yeah.
It was like just like,
every second.
Couldn't take a breath because the water was like banging in your face.
And that wasn't even one of the storms, but I bet you even after that one, that was August 7th, you said.
Yeah,
and
7th, yeah.
And I bet you people in Ridgeway had basement issues after that because just the amount of water all at once was so incredible.
We were on a campsite and it was like literally river on either side of the campsite.
Yeah, the whole thing was a lake basically. Yeah. So yeah, we got rainfall totals. Some areas of St. Catharines and Lincoln received 300 to 380 millimeters of rain or up to half a meter within those 2 weeks. This usually represents 25% of the region's annual rainfall. So what you would get in a quarter of a year happened in, 12 to 14
2 weeks,
days.
Yeah.
So the first storm saturated the ground completely. And then the second and third storms produced instant over flooding because the soil had nowhere to drain. Right. Hydrologists recorded 100% soil saturation, so near zero absorption, and then runoff rates approaching 100%. So basically any of the rain that hit the ground just had to go somewhere because the ground was already completely full. Yeah.
That's wild.
Storm drains in some neighborhoods went from normal to fully submerged in under 90 seconds. Plot values, precipitable water reached 45 to 50 millimeters. Normal is 25 to 30, meaning the atmosphere held nearly double the usual moisture. It's crazy even to think about just that much water being up in the sky, right?
Yeah. And the ground turning into a giant sponge.
Yeah, so first I was going to municipal damage and emergency response. So St. Catharines had 2,000 plus flood-related service calls. Mm-hmm. They actually, the FLAP, what is that? I think it's like flooding and something prevention. But there's a program where you can apply for flood prevention, basically. Mm-hmm. And they say there's normally 30 to 50 applications per year. There was over 3,000 after these happened.
People get scared, right? And they're like, what if this happens again?
Which it could.
Well, yeah. I mean, my guess is based on our climate change that this is going to keep happening. We're like, we're kind of tropical now, right?
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah.
So this was one that's interesting, the cost breakdown, which I was really curious about because I was I was working in St. Catharines after, and I was seeing the effects and just what was happening after these storms.
Well, yeah, you said you could see like everyone's like tear out right in the front of their driveway. Yeah. Because now everyone's had to replace like entire basements. I can't even, all the stories of people losing stuff. Some areas it was every house. Like every house just had a mountain of trash on the front lawn because like they lost everything in their basement basically. Well, yeah, and I think like it's demographic, if you're at the bottom of a hill or something, but also like you said, a lot of like a subdivision will all be built with the same type of like sump pump scenario. So if they went down, then it would have been the whole street, right? Yeah, pretty much.
They say St. Catherine, I think it was just St. Catharines, said it exceeded $20 million in damage.
Holy.
There was $800,000 to sinkhole repairs, and I witnessed that after some of the storms, like just the drainage systems couldn't keep up. Like the pipes weren't big enough. So it starts washing out underneath the road, right? Because it's just trying to bypass the pipe, right? So roads were getting undermined and like sinking and stuff like that. So there was a lot of damage there. 825,000 in emergency garbage collection. Hats off to all the garbage collectors out there. But I saw it. I was like driving behind garbage trucks, and now it's their job to load in all the tear out from all these people's houses because they did it as like an emergency thing. You can just put out all the garbage on your lawn. But like I've done tear out and
used like 30-foot bins 3 times over for one basement.
And it's not an easy job tearing stuff and throwing it in bins. And the only thing that makes it worse is when everything's wet. So these guys had to do like so many houses and people's like wet, moldy tear out.
Yeah.
Crazy. And they say there's a anticipated 15 million in residential flood grants. Yeah, and then Lincoln too, they experienced it really bad. 1,000+ homes, farms, and businesses flooded. The 6-hour power outage during the August 2nd storm, which disabled the sump pumps, causing 800+ basements to flood simultaneously. Niagara on the Lake had 200+ service requests. Flooding entered homes, greenhouses, and the vineyards and orchards, which are what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. I'm like, I can't even imagine like how much water the ground takes on, and like your crops will just rot.
Yeah. So they say private property losses in the agricultural sector reached tens of millions. Insurance adjusters were flown in from Alberta, Quebec, and the U.S. due to claim volume.
Oh my God.
Agricultural devastation. This is something I got to see as well. Like once you were driving down Lakeshore Road, Niagara on the Lake, you could see like the farmers' fields just looked like lakes.
Yeah.
And at first you're thinking, yeah, like too much overwatering is not good for crops, right? But they say the trees experience root drowning. Yeah. And the trees will appear fine for the rest of the year, but then they'll die in the spring of 2027. So it's called a death lag. And now some orchards are going to face like multi-year loss because they've lost their fully rooted trees.
Oh, it's awful.
And yeah, the vineyards saw water up to the bottom of the grapes. Like
so bad.
Yeah, greenhouses and farm equipment were underwater. And yeah, the tourism sector as well. So there's stuff like elevator shafts and electrical room failures. Mold, of course, in any of these places. Like water getting in is not a good thing.
No.
And then yeah, some crazy stories that happened. Seaway Farms in Niagara on the Lake. I guess they went there in the morning. There was fish swimming in the parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
Because the rivers and streams had filled up so much, so fast.
Yeah.
And the escarpment turning into a waterfall.
Ugh.
So residents described a wall of water pouring off the escarpment, which just washed out all the trails and ripping staircases from the rocks. Yeah, they said there was cars floating in subdivisions. Vehicles just drifted sideways and became wedged against stop signs just from like rushing rivers on the roads.
Guess we really didn't get it that bad here.
No. Well, and that's something too that we were just really lucky with our house. We remember just listening to it and watching it. I think you guys sat and watched one of them, didn't you?
Yeah, me and Titus, we had like our family was here visiting, and me and Titus sat outside and watched one of them. Yeah. That was the very first one.
Just lightning and rain nonstop, right?
But we are lucky, yeah, like where we are, there's like, it goes downhill.
Yeah, and something to plan for in the future, I guess, if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a waterfall street in St. Catharines where water just cascaded down a hill so violently people couldn't stand upright in it. Storm drains in people's basements erupting like geysers. So sanitary sewer discharges caused raw sewage to come up.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, it reversed the flow of some rivers. Basically, it's like so much water volume that the river started running the other way.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, so then section 2 is why it happened. They called it a ring of fire weather pattern. So the extreme heat and humidity over the American Southwest, and then cooler air from the north pushing down. So this boundary acted as a storm conveyor belt that we were right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it just steered nonstop thunderstorms right over the Niagara region. So the clash of air masses created a corridor for explosive high energy thunderstorms. And then they started back building. So the new storm cells formed behind the existing ones. And they were literally trains of storms that were coming over the same neighborhoods for hours. So the phenomenon caused continuous torrential rain instead of just one single passing storm, which is usually what you get with a thunderstorm. The cloud goes by, dumps rain, and then it moves on. And then the sun comes back out. But we just never got that part.
All right.
Yeah, they said it was a super El Nino, which was intensifying the jet stream. So yeah, the jet stream's basically kind of the same thing, where the cold air from the north meets the warm air from the south.
Right.
And that causes high winds, like 8 to 12 kilometers above the earth. So yeah, there was a record atmospheric moisture with nearly double the usual moisture in the air. And moisture plumes traveled from the Gulf of Mexico directly into southern Ontario, which is extremely rare. Yeah, the lightning density was 3 to 5 times higher than typical Ontario storms, and some storms produce, 2,000 plus lightning strikes per hour. There's a perfect alignment of atmospheric ingredients, high moisture, instability, slow-moving fronts, and repeated regeneration together created 3 catastrophic storms in under 2 weeks. And section 3 is why it could happen again and how we can prepare for it.
Yeah, I guess we're going to need to go and take some pages out of the tropics books, go down to, the Caribbean and find out how they're doing it. We need to change our building. We need to change everything.
I think so. And you see that when we were in Peru, because they have a nonstop rainy season. Their ditches are big. They're big concrete funnels. Right?
Right.
You might start needing
in the ancient sites?
No. In just in the cities in Peru. Some of the ditches
I guess you can't really tell, but I think they are just, it looked like slats, and then underneath would just be huge cavities, right?
Some of them were just physical ditches.
We have huge drains, we have huge sewers.
Yeah.
I just don't know
But it couldn't keep up. So yeah. They're saying climate trends can increase the flood risks because we have a warmer atmosphere. You can have more water vapor in the atmosphere. The jet stream weakening apparently is something that it's happening more often. Yeah, the Great Lakes warming, same kind of thing. So they're attributing this stuff to climate change, whether it's caused by humans or not. Our climate goes up and down as it kind of always has. But because we are in a hotter period, we can expect more of these storms. Yeah, there's some home protection strategies that you can equip. One thing, underground water management. So a lot of people are installing a backwater valve in your floor drains in your sewage system. So basically it's like a check valve. It'll only let stuff through one way and then not back. So this is something that they're putting in a lot of homes in St. Catharines and anywhere else that had that issue. But I think that's something that I don't know why we don't have on all our houses. That just makes sense.
To stop the sewer from backing up, just like a close.
I'm not sure how we can check if you have one or not, but that would be, I don't know, that seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
They recommend putting in a battery backup sump pump just in case if you have a sump pump. Our house doesn't have one and it's fine for whatever reason, but if you do have one,
knock on wood.
Yeah, if you do have one, then the water funneling into that pit, if that pump doesn't run, it has nowhere to go. So even batteries are kind of a pain. I don't know how you can maintain them all the time.
Yeah, if it gets wet, I don't know.
Yeah. If you know storms are coming, you can extend your downspouts out on your eaves troughs. You can improve the grading in your lot. I think that was a lot of the problem is people didn't really have to worry much about the grading of your house and where water went when it rained. So that's something probably everybody can do is just improve the grading and make sure everything drains away from your house.
That sounds like an easy fix, but that's huge to like re-landscape your whole house.
Oh, definitely. And then, install window well covers. So this was something that I thought too was a big thing. Like even going forward, I don't know if I would build a house with basement windows that have like a window well, because in that kind of situation, the water's just going to go in there and it has nowhere to go, right?
Right.
So they're saying you can put covers over top of them. Now maybe they're put like plastic roofs so you still get light in your basement windows or something like that.
Right.
But anyways, it's something
I'm
we should
saying
cover up.
we go look at what the houses are like in Costa Rica and the Bahamas.
Well, there, no basement. You're slab on grade.
Yeah.
We still get the winter as well, so we need basements.
Great. We're screwed both ways.
Yeah. There's some quick low cost measures. You can make sure your storm drains in your street are clear. Like make sure they're not covered in leaves from the last storm or whatever.
Yeah.
Elevate your basement valuables.
Oh my God.
Yeah, don't leave your guitars on the ground.
Well, yeah. Every time I keep hearing about these like horror stories in basements, I'm like, our podcast studio's in the basement. We have so much valuable down here.
Yeah. So yeah, there is this St. Catharines FLAP. I think it was like flooding and prevention. So if your house did flood, you should look for these programs. You can get up to a 90% reimbursement. And also, if you want to do upgrades, you can get up to $5,000 for that. So if you're going to be putting in like your backflow valves and stuff like that, St. Catharines might help out with that cost.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, even just, contact your insurance company and let them know that, like, this happened to you and you might need, like, better insurance. Because I bet you a bunch of people are going to find that, like, they are not getting reimbursed, right? Like, it doesn't cover that. Is this considered like an act of God? I know there is like stuff like that in our insurance where like you don't get coverage for it.
Well, the problem was like if you had floods in your insurance, then yeah, like I don't think the issue was insurance fraud. The issue was like insurance companies just have no money.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, sorry. Well, I remember all this happening too with all the like hurricanes and stuff in Florida, right? They were saying like the insurance companies were all pulling out of Florida. They literally just like were closing up shop because they're like, we're bankrupt. Like we had all this like disasters happen and we had to like push all these claims through and then we ended up closing because they can't afford to be operating when there's like disasters happening like that all the time.
Yeah, and typically what happens is you put your claim through the insurance company deals with the contractors and they get the disaster remediation people in there to finish the job, but everybody was so booked and busy that people were just sitting there waiting, and now their basement's starting to get moldy, and now they just can't
live there. They get sick.
Well, they have to take care of it themselves, and they have to find their own contractor and find just anybody to do it. So in a lot of cases, insurance companies were just basically just handing out a check like, here, take care of it. And but in some cases, yeah, people were still just kind of waiting around for their insurance company to deal with it.
Oh, God.
And there's a long lineup of people that are doing that as well.
Right.
Yeah, actually, we were working on 2 jobs. That one we had just finished, and then the other one we were just starting. And then both of their basements flooded, so now that just added to the scope of work. And they were lucky that they had contractors working on the house because...
They're like, hey guys,
haven't
can you
wrapped it up yet.
Yeah, switch what you're doing and go downstairs and rip out my whole entire basement.
Yeah. So we're doing a lot of that.
Oh my God. I also would tell people to not put carpet in their basement.
Yeah.
Just put tile. We had a wet bait. Like we had a couple issues with our rental properties, and I remember that when we redid it, I was like, screw this. We're just putting tile down because tile's the only thing. Even like a linoleum floor, like a vinyl floor, the water goes underneath it and then it just ends up like with like mold central.
Yeah.
Like you need to just
even under the waterproof
concrete
flooring.
You need cement and tile.
Yeah.
Because it can't get between there, right? Like it'll end up just being on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really lucky we don't have any water problems.
Yeah, we were super lucky.
Oh, and we just sold our rental properties because I remember thinking like, oh God, we had water issues in both of those properties. One of them, the roof was leaking into the attic, and then the basement at the other one. Yeah, we didn't talk about this, but we sold all our rental properties.
Yep.
So yeah, during all these storms, we were,
happy we didn't own rentals.
Well, I think just.
Well, that was another thing too. Like,
we didn't take for granted the fact that we weren't getting any calls to come fix anything.
We talked to some of the people that I know that had rentals, and I was like, oh,
God.
like, how was it during the floods? And then they were like, it wasn't the rentals. They were like, it was our places. Like, it was like their basements that flooded.
And the backyards. We heard a couple of people's backyards just like going down into the escarpment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. So anyways, they say on prevention, it's like but anywhere from a 1-6 to a 1-15 ratio. So if you spend $1 now, that's going to save you potentially $6 to $15 in damages later. Like the damage repair is so much more expensive than trying to prevent it, right?
Totally.
So that's, I think, something that our cities are working on right now.
Yeah.
And there is these flooding and prevention programs that I think people should get involved in. And if you had a house that went through that, the way it's looking is that it's possible it can happen again, maybe I don't know about this year, who knows though.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like every storm is going to end up being like that just because of the intensity of it. And like if you talk to people in the tropics, they say like their storms are always like that.
Yeah.
They're like blowing crazy wind, and it ends up just being this crazy convection of like cold air coming in and warm air going up, and then it just makes this perfect storm that,
Yeah, I know. Like it could end up being like the rainy season, you know what I mean? You had Peru as their dry winter, and then their wet
season.
Summer.
Yeah, it's frightening. So yeah, and the other thing is like, what's the, city-wise, what are they going to do about it? Because now our whole region is one of those situations. We were talking about it, and I think it's interesting to hear because we're hearing this, like, I mean, ours, okay, is storms, but like we're hearing this across the globe, or these like really intense weather scenarios, right? So areas that never got snow are now getting snow. Areas that, didn't get this kind of heat are getting heat. And I think it's just interesting to watch an entire region try to get ahead of it, right? Like if all of a sudden, if you never had snow before, and now all of a sudden you have snow, if you never had heat before, and now all of a sudden you have all these houses with no, like they're not prepped for the heat, and vice versa, they're not prepped for storms. So I think we're seeing this across the globe, like areas that are like the climate change. Again, I always just think it's sun cycles, but whatever, we don't have to get into that. It's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
Is what's causing the climate change. But the situation is it is, and it's wild to watch an entire civilization or an entire region, country, wherever the demographic is that's responsible for the infrastructure, and watching them try to pivot.
Yeah. Like,
what do you do when every single one of your houses has the plumbing in the wrong place, and now all of a sudden your pipes are all freezing?
Well, that's,
or your basement or your sewers are all not, like, they weren't built to obviously withstand this amount of water.
Yeah.
So what's the city going to do?
Yeah.
Like, never mind what you're going to do. You're going to get a sewer backup. What's the city going to do?
Yeah.
To, like, you can't replace all the sewers in the whole city.
Yeah. Or make them all bigger. I know that's a massive infrastructure challenge.
Should I text the mayor? Ask him what he's doing about the sewer issue.
Well, it's interesting too. Climate change is something that we've been, dealing with, and it's like you said, it's its own podcast. But it's funny though, like the range of what's happened. Like even in the 70s, they were worried about global cooling, and you had like the blizzard of 77, which like buried the region, right? So there's always just new climate events.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, sure, like I think if we all switched to paper straws and frickin' drove electric cars, I think these weather events would still continue to happen because like just cycles come in and they go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're in this warming and in this super humid period, and I'm sure just being surrounded by the Great Lakes just adds to that. We have just so much water in our area, and then so much in the atmosphere as well.
Yeah, because it gets so hot and there's so much water accessible, then you end up with these super heavy clouds fast, right? Like you see, obviously everybody knows how condensation happens. So when you end up with this intense heat, it's like pulling so much water up into the clouds so fast, and then you blast it with cold, and then you end up with these crazy storms.
Yeah.
Again, the tropics have always had them, and again, it's not just like super heating. Like some places it's super cooling in other places, right?
Yeah,
So
like you're getting the snow in Florida and snow in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with them. It's not flooding, it's their pipes freezing because all their plumbing's on the roof.
Because they never had cold before.
They've never had the snow, yeah.
So that's the interesting thing to me is like, I mean, on an individual basis, yeah, everyone's got to like take care of themselves and try to do the best they can with what they have. But I think it's really interesting to see entire, like, yeah, how do cities deal with this? Like, I don't, if I was, I would not want to be the mayor right now. Good job, Jim. Doing it again.
Yeah. Well, I think the mayor of St. Catharines.
Oh, yeah, it's the mayor of St. Catharines for sure. No, I
didn't Jim.
Yeah, Jim did have, he posted a video that his basement was flooded for sure. Yeah, exactly. I just mean I guess, it's in the falls too. I was just thinking, like, seems like St. Catharines is dealing with it way more.
Yeah.
Maybe because of the escarpment, like it lands on there because it's at the bottom.
Well, possibly, yeah.
It's at the bottom of the escarpment, right? The escarpment's like in like Virgil, St. David's.
Yeah.
Niagara on the Lake. And then St. Catharines is underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is totally.
Well, they're in the lowlands. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's right. Because, if you're on the QEW, you drive down the big hill looking at Toronto and then go around near Glendale and then you're into St. Catharines. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what is the city going to do?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty wild to see, though. And, you think in those scenarios, you just need better grading, better drainage, and... Like, that's what I was saying with the Peru stuff is it's not like, it's not underground. They're like just physical water channels.
Okay,
You're kind of stepping over top of them.
Right.
And they're just like big concrete gutters that are made to funnel the water everywhere.
Okay, yeah, it's coming back to me.
Yeah. But again, when you have...
I don't think I maybe put 2 and 2 together because we weren't there during rainy season, but...
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, what are all these things I have to walk over?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just big pieces of concrete. Now I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to like take, maybe that's it. Maybe they can do some more on land drainage. Instead of having to like replace entire sewers, they could do some like on the ground drain stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Oh, it's wild.
Ugh, have to spend a bunch of money on that. Like that sucks. I'm serious.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
But that was a wild scenario that we went through.
Yep.
Man, I think next one of those storms, I'm just gonna go out in it just for fun because it felt crazy.
It was invigorating.
Yeah.
Just getting slapped in the face.
Yeah.
You're right. That
as long
next
as my
morning, you're just like
underwater.
You're just like, oh my god, that was like the jet boat. Like, yeah.
We were in our camper, which has like pop out beds, and somehow we all stayed dry in that. So
that was a real test for the camper.
I guess it's off the ground though.
Yeah.
The camper doesn't have a basement.
Oh, the river was going right underneath the camper. Yeah. Like, it was wild. Yeah, it's definitely basements that are the issue.
Yeah.
So what do we got coming up?
What do we have coming up? Do we know?
Yeah.
We're talking to someone from the Vintage Venture.
Yeah. Vintage Venture.
Yeah, they've been doing a really cool like music series and having artists like play in their shop.
In their shop, yeah. And like also their whole like like buying like vintage stuff and reselling it is also really cool. I'm excited. They were talking about we were talking to Simon actually about it last week, our guest, and he was mentioning they'll come and do like full like estate sales. And they'll go through the house and like pick through all the things that are like of value to bring to the store. So yeah, I'm really excited to sit down with them. We have our friend Adam Leifel coming. I went to high school with him. He's an incredible musician, playing a lot in Niagara. We have Ryan Stephenson coming. He's a Cirque du Soleil performer. He's kind of joined onto the studio. He's coming in a couple weeks, so yeah, I'm really excited to host him
cool.
too. He's great. Yeah, he toured with Cirque du Soleil for a number of years. And yeah, he's coming onto the studio in acro capacity. And yeah, it'll be good. Getting back into fall. Wah. Back to work. Summer's over.
Back to school coming soon.
Back to school. Yeah. So hopefully everyone enjoys their last couple weeks of summer. Hopefully no more floods.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and you'll never miss a podcast.
Good night.